What is journalism today? We are living in the world where journalists that are actually doing their jobs are being punished, and those that are compliant with government's narrative and big tech companies' billionaires' narratives are being rewarded. Bill Gates donated around $320 million to various influential media outlets. The recipients include CNN, NBC, NPR, PBS, The Atlantic, BBC, The Guardian, The Financial Times, The Daily Telegraph, Le Monde, Der Spiegel, El País, and Al Jazeera. Do you think those media outlets will write something bad about him? I don't think so. More likely they will praise him, like they do. This is called conflict of interest. On the other hand, we have heroes like Julian Assange. Just recently had a stroke in Belmarsh prison, in which he's detained since 2019. Before that, he was in Ecuadorian embassy since 2012. His wife said he was kept in his cell for long periods and was short of fresh air and sunlight and adequate diet. Let's watch his wife speaking about injustice done towards Assange.
He has been detained since the 7th of December 2010 in one form or another, 11 years. For how long can this go on? Today is International Human Rights Day. What a shame. How cynical. To have this decision on this day, to have one of the foremost publisher, journalist of the past 50 years in a UK prison, accused of publishing the truth about war crimes, about CIA kill teams. And in fact, every time we have a hearing, we know more about the abusive nature, the criminal nature of this case. Julian exposed the crimes of CIA torturers, of CIA killers, and now we know that those CIA killers were planning to kill him too.
Let's take a look at this article from Spiked Online, written by Fraser Mayers. Of all the failings of modern journalism, the tendency to fall in line with state power is among the most alarming. In the past 2 years, we've seen journalists demanding even more authoritarian restrictions on their fellow citizens. And in recent decades, many journalists have thought nothing of pounding their government's drumbeats to war. Whatever your view of him, the same cannot be said of Julian Assange. Assange has always rebelled in his oppositions to the world's most powerful governments, and they hate him in return in equal measure. Today's High Court ruled that he can be extradited from the UK to the US, where he is charged with 17 offenses under Espionage Act. If found guilty, he could be sentenced to 175 years in prison. Make no mistake, Assange is being criminalized for doing journalism. Yes, his publishing methods were unorthodox. WikiLeaks published reams of classified documents without filters or editorial choices that would usually be made by newspaper or news website. But the means he came by this information was actually quite run-of-the-mill. The conspiracy and espionage Assange stands accused of by the US amount to his attempt to cultivate sources, get more information out of them and keep them anonymous, or as it's usually known as journalism. You see, a lot of this stuff, if not revealed by Assange or Edward Snowden, would stay in the realm of conspiracy theories. Even the US government, the very entity that wishes to punish Assange, has previously recognized that what he does is journalism, and that if he is punished, that all journalists are under threat. Assange becoming world famous in 2010 when WikiLeaks published its most significant leaks, including collateral murder footage, the Afghan war diary, the Iraqi war logs, and the US State Department diplomatic cables. These generated stories that filled the news outlets the world over. At the time of those leaks, the Obama administration considered using the Espionage Act to take on Assange, but in the end it decided against prosecuting him. In the words of one Justice Department official in 2013, doing so would mean it would also have to prosecute the New York Times and the other news organizations and writers who published classified material, including the Washington Post and Britain's Guardian newspaper. That is because Julian Assange's crime is that he published things which are true, though they have caused embarrassment to the US and their allies. Any reluctance to pursue Assange disappeared under Trump administration. Mike Pompeo, who served as Trump's CIA director and then his Secretary of State, made no secret of his loathing for Assange. In 2017, Pompeo gave a chilling speech in which he accused WikiLeaks of acting as a hostile intelligence service. He branded Assange a narcissist and a fraud, and he argued that US must not allow its free speech values to undermine its interests. The arrival of Biden's administration has changed nothing. While it parrots a commitment to press freedom to sound distinct from the Trump administration, in practice, it is simply carrying on the same approach. You see, it doesn't matter what administration is in power. They are all the same when it comes to this. In UK law, extradition to the US for political purposes has been explicitly banned since 2003. But given the US state's open animosity towards Assange, who can honestly say that his persecution is not political? Nevertheless, all that remains is for Home Secretary Priti Patel to rubber stamp the order. And no one is expecting her to decline. Why aren't more journalists up in the arms about this? Why do they seem more concerned about who had the cheese and wine at Downing Street last Christmas? In theory, they are also gravely threatened by President the persecution of Assange will set. Perhaps they are, as journalist John Pilger suggests, official truth tellers, who do not fear the state because they are so very rarely out of the step with it, at least not on the matters of war and peace, or freedom and authoritarianism. The extradition of Julian Assange will be a dark day for press freedom, if only more journalists realized it. The thing is, I did a bit of research and this isn't a trending topic in comparing to other stuff. It seems like the atmosphere has been created so the most people don't care at all anymore. I don't see any protests anymore to free Assange. I don't know, it seems he has to die to be a hero. As seen in this case, it doesn't matter if you're left or right, for Biden or Trump, the result is the same. One thing is for sure, the job of the journalists should be sourcing and publishing information that those in power don't want to be revealed. What do you think? How do you think this will end for Julian Assange? Do you think after this anyone will dare do investigative journalism like Assange did? Leave your opinion down in the comment section and I will reply. Thank you for watching and see you soon.